Tech problems in VoiceOver. How to deal with them, how to get past them, how to not let the negativity and hassle of having tech problems get you down. Welcome back to another episode of VoiceOver Therapy, not your therapy, my therapy. I'm doing this, this kind of started off as like a vlog thing, but I found that just speaking my mind about things that can, go wrong or go well in VoiceOver, a lot of you guys connect with it and have told me you found it helpful. I really wanted to talk about tech problems today because they happen to everybody. And sometimes they can feel really significant enough to make you want to quit, especially when you're just starting out and you're trying so hard to get everything off the ground and stuff starts going wrong and it snowballs one after another and you're like, fuck, is this even worth it? Yes, it's worth it. Oh, and by the way, if you're new to this channel, my name is Jesse Carroll. I'm a professional voice actor and coach. I've done about 2,000 commercials. I'm the narrator for Backroad Truckers on History Channel and Hulu. And I made about $1 million. Over $1 million in voiceover in the last 7 years. And this channel is all about helping you do voiceover and keep your sanity. So tech problems. It could be something as simple as your interface not working, not talking to your computer. It could be something like, this happened in my community. A member's computer fan was too loud, so they had to go and get a new computer. And that's a big expense, that sucks, but it's part and parcel of being in this kind of a business. In any industry you get into, it's not just voiceover. In any industry you get into, there's going to be problems, there's going to be expenses. When I worked in nightclubs, there was all kinds of crazy expenses that would happen. Sometimes, someone would bring out the wrong bottle of champagne, which can be a massive expense. Like if someone orders a bottle of Dom and the bottle girl doesn't know what the Dom is and opens up a bottle of Armand de Brignac or something like that, which is like twice the price, that's an expense and that sucks. And we're talking thousands here. In the club, you can buy it for much less than the liquor store. The club really jacks you. It could be something like, the fridge going down and you have to bring somebody in to redo all the coolant in it, which is a massive expense. It could be something like in the nightclub industry, somebody slipping and falling on ice and suing you. The nightclub industry has a lot of different expenses. So the reason I say this is because before I was a voice actor, I spent 20 years in nightclubs and I'd see expenses. Crazy ones happen all the time. Not suing all the time, although that did happen from time to time. It's the nature of having a business where people show up drunk and theft would happen, bartenders stealing and stuff, trying to make extra tips by giving away free drinks. But in voiceover, it's an art form and it attracts people that have a lot of emotions that are very passionate about it. That's great. I'm passionate myself. Sometimes that passion can be unbridled and it can be very hard to control. And when you're really trying to get your start and you're really trying to get things moving and then stuff starts going wrong, like it inevitably will. You can see people in voiceover where it looks like they've had an easy time. And maybe compared to others or on paper, they have had an easy time. But at some point, things are going to go wrong. Tech problems are inevitable. They're going to happen to every single person. When I first started doing voiceover, I was living in a new apartment. Some of you know the story, some of you don't. I was working at a nightclub. I was renting a new fancy new apartment in Vancouver. It was expensive and I lost my job and then I couldn't afford the place. So I had to figure something out and I figured out voiceover and it worked out pretty quick for me because I put in 16 hours a day on it, working really, really hard. And I started making a full-time income within 4 months. But on the fifth or sixth month, brand new building, they open up for the summer. It's getting to May or something like that. So it's warmer weather. They open up the pool and the hot tub, which is just across the hallway from me in the outdoors. It's a big fancy building. And anytime the hot tub was on, I would hear in my apartment. Couldn't take a nose profile of it because it was dynamic and the frequency changed a lot. And I couldn't sleep. It was so imagine this in your apartment. Anytime somebody turns on the hot tub, and people would be using it after hours and shit. It was brutal. I had to sleep with earplugs in and I couldn't record. I always had to go down to On the Mic Studios in Vancouver. Shout out to On the Mic to do any live directed sessions because I was worried someone was going to use the hot tub. So I had to move. I had to move from my apartment into a different apartment. Not because I wanted to. I loved my apartment. I wish I didn't have to move. I moved because of tech problems. Not my own tech, but the building. Still a tech problem. I had a noise I couldn't control. I had to move. Maybe some of you are dealing with that where you're like, oh, I live by a highway. How can I fix this? Move. Sometimes you just got to do that for voiceover, you know? When I was living in New York City, there was a new company bought the building I was in, and they wanted to do some upgrades so they could jack everybody's rent up, as they do. And they did construction for like 8 months in this building. And I had to wait between the jackhammers and the buzz saws to like record. And it was tough. And moving in New York is not like moving in Vancouver. You got to get a broker. You got to pay them first month's rent when you get a place. You got to pay your first month's rent. Then you got to pay your last month's rent. And in New York, that's like, you know, a $20,000 expense just to move. And then you got to pay the movers and all that kind of stuff. So that didn't seem like, that wasn't an option to me. So I had to like rent out a studio and work at weird hours. The point I'm getting at is you get through it. So if you're dealing with something right now, whether it's, you know, the computer not working or an interface, or you're having issues with your DAW, your digital audio workstation. If you're new here, you don't know what that is. It's what you edit on. Any of that stuff, software not working, maybe your computer crashes and the motherboard fries, or maybe you get a ground loop hum. If you don't know what a ground loop hum is, Google it. It sucks. That's something that you probably will have to move for. It happens in old buildings where you just got this hum and it comes through your cables. There's nothing you can do, really. You can try and do a few fixes like changing different plugs and getting special outlets and power conditioners, but most of the time it's not going to work. So you have to move. If you're dealing with any kind of tech issues, noise issues, home issues, or personal issues, just know that it's going to pass. I have dealt with a ton of issues, not just tech issues. Just I've had to overcome so much stuff in my life. Welcome to therapy. So much stuff in my life. You wouldn't know it. It'd make your head spin. But every time that you do, it makes you a little stronger. I try to look at things, any kind of difficulties that come into my life, I try to look at it as an opportunity to get stronger, to learn more skills, to overcome something else. And the more you do that, and when you look back, it gives you the confidence to get past the next thing. You're like, fuck, I've already been through all this stuff. What's this one more thing? And I can tell you right now, tech issues for voiceover, that's not the biggest problems you're going to deal with in life. You're going to deal with some real shit. So if you resonate with this, if you're dealing with some issues in voiceover, whether it's tech issues or not getting that first job, just know this. If you don't plan on quitting voiceover, because you can do this until you retire, and after you retire, you can do this to the day you die. And it's a pretty sweet gig to do post-retirement. That's what I plan on doing, as long as the machines don't eventually take us over. We'll see. I think AI is going to get banned at one point. I think it's just going to be so, like, reality is going to get bent. But anyway, before we get into an AI rant, just know that it's worth it. It's worth it to overcome any challenges. And also, if you plan on doing this for long term and into retirement and through retirement, then why are you in a hurry? Like, you're going to overcome the problem eventually, whether it's the problem of your tech, whether it's the problem of not booking your first job or booking your 20th job or booking your 100th job or trying to go full time or trying to make 6 figures or trying to make multiple 6 figures. As long as you're steadily trying to make forward progress every day, you're going to get to your goal. If you're dealing with tech issues, one of the best things you can do to really overcome it, write down what the issue is, write down what the solution is. And then if you don't have the means to be able to deal with that solution, figure out all the steps you need to take to figure out that solution. When you write it down and you see the clear steps in front of you, it takes away all the stress, because when it's all up in here, you're like, oh, I got to do this and that and that, and then it's emotional. You need to take the emotion out of it, get it out of your head, get it down on paper. Paper is best. I like doing like writing. It's just kind of cathartic. You can put it in your notes tab of your iPhone if you want, but I like writing it down. And then just cross off all the little things. So like, let's say, for instance, if you need a new computer and you don't have the money for a computer, okay, well, can you rent a computer? Can you borrow a computer? Can you take out a small business loan? Can you take out a credit card? Can you put one on layaway? Start crossing off all those things that you can do. And if you truly can't get a new computer, if that's the thing you're dealing with, if you or whatever it is, and you don't have the funds to be able to do it, write down the steps you need to do to get those funds ASAP. And if you can't get them ASAP, find the day that you can get them and just relax and chill. Just relax and chill until you get the funds. It's not the end of the world. If something happened and I was like, I have to take a month off of voiceover right now, and let's say you take away all my savings, I'd figure something out. It'd suck, but you know, that's life. Things happen that are unexpected. This is me on my high horse giving you some advice, giving you some real therapy advice. I'm not going to be doing any recording in the booth today. Well, I've done recording the booth. It's like, what is it? Almost 11 o'clock at night, but I still wanted to get you guys a YouTube therapy video that's going to go up tomorrow. Well, it'll be today by the time you're seeing this. And I got a special one coming out this Friday, so make sure you watch out for that. It's going to be a fun one. But yeah, hope you enjoyed your therapy session. I'm Jesse Carroll. If you liked this video, then give it a like, put a little thumbs up, give it a comment, and share it with somebody you like, share it with somebody you hate, and subscribe and hit the notification bell for more voiceover therapy content. And as always, we're coming at you with one of our, I don't know what I was going to say, one of our awesome Friday videos. You know what I'm talking about. We'll see you Friday.